Welcome. Now it's time for us to go and create our controller class. So I will go ahead and click on controller and create item controller class. And this controller layer helps us create RESTful web services using HTTP based methods get, post, put, delete, on which there are wrapper annotation made, pre-made and made available to us via Spring Boot. So we can create as many controllers as we want, but the rule of thumb is for a particular entity, you should have a particular controller and a repository and a service. And if there's another entity, create another controller, DTO, service, and repository. That's the good practice that we should follow. But there's nothing stopping us to create one controller for a get endpoint, one for a put endpoint, one for delete and update, or maybe create one controller and put all the entities related API endpoints in the same. But those are not the good practices. Good practices is one controller service DTO entity repository per type of your entity. I mean the model or the entity where the whole data storage capability is mentioned. Of course, you can create more controllers and more services and maybe more DTO also based upon if there is some relationship between those entities. But for now, our case, this is we have a simple entity and we are going to create a controller. So how do I tell Spring Boot how to make this particular normal simple Java class a Spring Boot enabled REST API? So we have this annotation called @REST controller, and by just giving this annotation, now this becomes a RESTful web services controller class. And the URL at which we will access this RESTful web services class is at the rate request mapping. And we can give a common base URL here, like something like API, and at different specific endpoints, we can give our own specific URLs. So in the next video, what we will do is we will go ahead and create our get endpoint and test it out. Thank you.